Hello everyone, you're welcome to my YouTube channel again. This is David Gladness, and on this particular video I'm going to be sharing with you how you can replicate this simple design you're seeing right on your screen, making use of the Pixellab software and finishing it up with the Snapseed software. But before we proceed with the tutorial, you can see we are designing a Thanksgiving flyer. So I would like to use this medium to thank you all for getting me to 400 subscribers so far. It has been an awesome journey with you guys, and I hope you guys keep on engaging with my videos. However, if you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification icon, and also like this video if it was helpful. Alright, so this design is actually a very simple concept, as you can see, but then I believe it is still going to be helpful, especially for the background manipulating aspect. So the first thing I would like to do now is to return my Pixellab to its default page. Alright, so when you open your Pixellab, you are likely to get something like this. I'm going to delete my default text. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do now is to import the first background layer I'm going to be using. So I'll just click on this middle icon right here and click on import. Alright, so I'm just going to locate it. It should be in my download folder. All the resources I'm going to be using for this design is already provided for you in the description box. You can get it there. So make sure you highlight on this square icon you're seeing right here and move it to the top. Then I'm going to tap on this mark icon. Now I'll go to my relative size and increase this to 100. Then increase this in case the two, make sure it is in 100, and position this at the middle. Now I'm going to lock this. I'm going to lock it up. Alright, so this is going to be serving as our default background. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to import the second background layer. So I'll just click on import right here. I'm going to click on import right here. Then I'll locate the second background I want to use, which is this particular one. Now I'm going to click on this icon, this as well, and move it up. Then I'll go to my relative size and increase this to 100, just like the first one. Then I'm going to be reducing the opacity. I want to reduce the opacity. I don't want it to be so transparent, so I want it to be about, I'll just leave this on 5, or yes, I think I can actually work with 10. I think 10 is a good number. So the next thing I'm going to do is to lock this layer as well, and then I'm going to import the next resources. So I'll just click on import. Alright, so I'm going to be making use of this next. Alright, so I'll just tap on this mark icon, then go to my relative size and position this on 100. Please do not increase the height, just increase the width and leave the height on 66. Alright, so I'll go to my relative position and move it to the middle. Now we are going to be reducing the opacity as well. We are going to be reducing it to about 30. Okay, I think 30 is a good number for this. Now if you should notice very well, you can see it's having a sharp line. It is having a sharp line right here and at the top. We don't want it to have that kind of sharp line, so we'll go to our eraser. We are going to be making use of the blot erasing, and then we are going to be erasing the down part, and also we are going to be erasing the top part as well. And once you're done, just tap on this mark icon, and as you can see, it is no longer having that sharp edges. Okay, now the next thing we are going to do is to import the next layer. So I'll just click on this. Before then, let me lock this layer, then click on import. Alright, so this is the next layer I would love to use. I'll be using this particular layer. Then I'll crop it to something like this, as you can see, or better still, you can just leave it this way. Alright, so I'll just tap on this mark icon. Now go to my relative size, increase it. Now I'm going to my relative position to move it downward. You can see what I did there. Now we'll go to eraser. We are going to our eraser, and then I'm going to increase the size of my blot to the highest and increase the size of my brush as well. So we are going to be erasing the top part of this resources. So please take your time to erase it. We don't want it to erase the people, the crowd. We don't want it to erase them. We only want to erase the parts we don't need. You can see that. So once you are done erasing, just tap on this mark icon. Okay, So I'm just going to increase the size a little bit more and copy. I'm just going to copy. Click on copy. Then I'm going to delete this one. Now I'm going to move this to the middle and position it right here. Now I'm going to be reducing the opacity as well. We don't want this to be so visible. So we'll go to opacity and reduce it to about 10. I think 10 is a good number. And as you can see what we've come up with. Alright, so I think this is actually okay. Now I'll go to this layer. You can see this particular layer. I would love to move it up. Then go to my opacity and increase the opacity a little bit. I'll just increase the opacity to about 30, or better still, I reduce it to 25. Okay, let's just leave it on 20. 20 is a good number, and as you can see, we have been able to manipulate the background, and this is actually what we want. So I'll just tap on this layer icon and lock the layers. Alright, now the next thing we are going to do is to start importing the rest of the resources and position them the right way. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to import here is my logo, my church logo. So I'll just click on import. Please, this is a fictional design, which means it is not actually a legal design. I just had to design this for the sake of you guys, okay? So I'll just search for the name of the church, I think. Alright, so this is the logo right here. This is the logo right here, the Apostolic Church logo. So I'm going to position it at the top. I'm going to be positioning it at the top right here. Then I will activate my grid line and position it at the middle right on the top. Now the next thing I'll do is to bring in a text. So I'll just tap on this A and bring in a text. Then I will input the name of the church, the Apostolic Church Nigeria, then in brackets CACN, then close the brackets. Alright, so I'll reduce the size. Now the font I would like to use, I'll go to my AB font. I'll just go to my AB font and then select this first font, this particular first font right here. I'm going to be selecting this particular first font. Then I'll activate my grid line and reduce the size. Okay, then I'll make it bold. I'll just click on B. Alright, so this is exactly what we've got right here. So I'll bring in a new text. and input the church slogan, which is one fold, one shepherd. So I would input that in capital letter, one fold and then one shepherd. Yes, this is okay. Now I'm going to be reducing the size. Then go to my font. I would like to change the font as well. And for the sake of this particular one, I'm going to be using this particular font you are seeing right here. I'll be using this font. Then I'm going to reduce the size and position it just beneath the first text. I'll just position it just beneath the first text by going to my position and move it up a little. Then I'll increase the size a bit and go to my relative position to move it at the middle. Yes, as you can see, we have been able to bring in the church name and the slogan. Alright, so the next thing we are going to do is to copy this particular text. Just copy this particular first text right here, the Apostolic Church. Now edit it and input presents in capital letter, presents. Alright, so I would like to change the color by going to color and select this particular yellow color. I pick the colors randomly. You can see that I only tap on this place, then I pick the color randomly, but you can make use of the color code, which is FFBA00. So you can input the color code here. Just highlight the color code right here, and once you are done, tap on this mark icon and click on OK. You are going to be getting the exact color I'm using right now. So I'm going to my spacing, and I will increase the spacing to the highest. Alright, I would like to reduce the size of the text a little bit, then I'll position it around here. Alright, so I'll go to shadow, enable my shadow, and then I'm going to reduce the blur radius. I'm going to reduce the blur radius to 0 and the offset X on -1, also the offset Y on +1 respectively. Yes, you can see what we've got. We are making progress already. Now we want to import our headline. The main reason why we are designing this flyer, which is the Thanksgiving program. So I'm going to tap on plus. Alright, so I'll just edit the text and input thanks in capital letters. Thanks. Now I would like to change the font I'm using here. So I'll just make use of a font name RoxG. Please, when you want to download the font, just search for this particular font. This is exactly what you're going to be typing, RoxG. But then after extracting it and inputting it into your Pixellab, the name of the font is Gomaris Rocks. You can see it right here. So I'll just click on OK. Now I'm going to be increasing the size and make use of my grid button right here. Now you can see these two grid lines. I don't want the text to exceed these two grid lines. You can see that straight grid lines. So I'm going to increase the size and position it at the middle. Yes, you can see what we've got. You can see that the T does not go out of this grid line and the S did not also go out of this particular grid line. So I'll just position it right here. Alright. So the next thing is to go to our shadows and enable the shadow. Now reduce the blur radius. Then the offset X I will -2 and the offset Y on +2. Now I'm going to my stroke. I will enable the stroke, reduce the stroke to 2 and make use of a white color. Okay. Then I'm going to reposition this at the middle. Yes, this is okay. Then go to your inner shadow and enable the inner shadow. Now we are going to be using something like a gray color, not dark. A gray color for our inner shadow. Then we'll reduce the transparency a little bit and you can see what we've got. So the offset X and Y, we are going to be reducing them as well to give it one kind of emboss effect. Alright, so I'll tap on plus to increase the transparency and you can see what we've got. Yes, but I want to work on the inner shadow more. I'll leave it on 5 and reduce this to be a little bit darker. Yes, you can see what we've got right here. So I'm going to duplicate the text. So I'll just leave the blur radius on 10 and you can see what we've got. It's having one kind of emboss effect. So I'll duplicate this particular text, then position it at the beneath the first text and input given. I'll just input given, also in capital letters, and you can see it right here. So I'd like to increase the size of this a little bit so that it can fit in perfectly the way we want it to be. And you can see what we've got right here. This is beautiful and this is exactly what we want. Now I'll duplicate this present text. I'll just copy it. Now I'm going to be inputting program. I'll just input program. Okay, then I'll change the color to a white color. I'm going to change the color to a white color. Yes, then increase the size a little bit and position it at the middle. Also, I'll go to my spacing and reduce the spacing to maybe 60 is a good number. Then increase the size a little bit. Yes, I'll just leave this like this. And as you can see, we are already making progress. Now I want to bring in a shape. So go to your elements, this place, and import a shape. We are going to be making use of a square shape. Then increase the radius a little bit activate your grid line so that you can see what you are doing properly, and then go to opacity, reduce the opacity to about 30 and just adjust it to something like this. I also like to increase this a bit and this as well. Yes, now I would like to change the color, so I'll just click on display your scene plus, then select the color from the background, from this particular background. So I'll just sample a color from here. You can see that. Now let's see what we've got. This is not that dark. I want it to be a little bit dark. Yes, you can see what we've got right here. So I would like to reduce the opacity more. And the color, I want it to be much more dark. Yes, this is okay. Now I'm going to move it to the back. I'm going to move this to the back of the theme. The main reason why we are designing the flyer. You can see what we've got right here. So I'll move it up a little bit to make it properly aligned. So as you can see, we are almost done with the design, and this is already looking beautiful and interesting. So the next thing we are going to do now is to bring in another square shape. Go to opacity, reduce the opacity, and make sure you adjust the shape to fit in with the first one, just like you can see me doing right here. Then I will increase the stroke width to 2 or 3, then make use of a white color for the stroke width and position it around here. Now we are going to be adjusting the shape to something like this. Then we'll go to our stroke radius and increase the stroke radius to about 25 to 30. Then adjust it to something like this. You can see what we've got. Then activate your grid line to make sure your work is properly positioned at the middle. Then I'll tap on this mark icon. Now I'll go to crop, then crop out the top of the shape, and you can see this is what we want. So let's see what we've got. Yes, this is almost close to exactly what we want. So I'll reduce the size a little bit, position it at the middle. Then I'll click on this layer to select this shape, this present, Thanksgiving, and the program text. I want to move them up a little bit so that we can have enough space for our design. Then I'll move this down as well, and you can see what we've got. Now I'll go to my shadows. I'll go to shadows, tap on the shape, go to shadows and enable the shadow. Then the offset X is going to be on +1 and the offset Y on +1 as well. Just don't adjust the blur radius and any other thing. And as you can see what we've got right here. Now the next thing we are going to be working with is to import the pin slash icon. So I'll just click on import. Then after clicking on import, I'm going to select this particular slash icon and then crop it to something like this. You can see what I'm doing. Crop it. I think I made use of this particular one. So just crop it to something like this. Then after cropping, just tap on this mark icon. Now go to erase color. Go to erase color, click on OK and increase the tolerance. Just increase the tolerance to let's just leave this on 40. Then I'm going to move this right here, reduce the size a little bit and position it right at the middle. Then go to color. So we'll be making use of the same color we use for the letter present. So click on color, enable your color, and you can click on the color picker, or better still, I think this is the color I used. Yes. So I'll just click on OK. And you can see what we've got right here. So I will copy this program text. I'm going to copy it, edit it and input theme. I'm just going to input theme. Then double column. Now reduce the size, position it right at the middle of that particular text. So I would like to adjust this the height and position it properly at the middle. Then go to my position and move it up a little bit. Then I'm going to lock it. I'm going to lock all these resources so that I'm not going to be touching them by mistakes. Yes, you can lock them, and I'll be adjusting this a little bit to make it bigger, and then I'll go to my spacing to reduce the spacing. We don't want the spacing right here, and we'll leave this exactly at the middle. Alright, you can see what we've got, and we are almost done with our design. So I'm going to copy this The Apostolic Church text. I'm going to copy it again, then input the theme of the program. I'll just position it here, edit it, and input the theme of the program, which is Praise the Lord, oh my soul. Alright, praise the Lord, oh my soul. So I'll just position this at the middle as well. I'll position this at the middle as well. Alright. I want to increase the size of this. I want to increase the size. So I'll go to my relative size. Leave it at 70. Move this and make sure it is at the middle. Yes. So I'll just leave this as Praise the Lord, oh my soul. Reduce the size a little bit. Then I'm going to move it to the middle, and you can see what we've got. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is to copy this text again, reduce the size, and position it at the middle, then input the Bible verse. Alright, so the reason why I keep on copying fonts is because I want to maintain my font psychology. It is something bad when you are using too much fonts for your design, so make sure you are using the same font family and maintain your fonts. Alright, so this is okay, and I'm just going to position it right at the middle by going to my relative side position and position it at the middle. I want to increase the size a little bit, then I'll position it at the middle and go to this and move it up a bit, and you can see what we've got right here. This is beautiful, and we are now going to the last part of this particular tutorial. So we are going to bring in another shape. We are going to bring in another square shape, increase the radius to about 3 and adjust it to something like this. This is where we are going to be inputting our location and the rest of the design elements we want to bring in. So we'll adjust it to something like this. Alright. Then I will change the color to the same color we used for the first one. Then reduce the opacity. I'm going to reduce the opacity to about 30 is enough. I think 30 is a good number. Let's increase the opacity more to 50. So I'm going to be importing the rest of the icon, like the time, location, and the calendar icon. So I'll just click on import. Then I'll import the location icon. I'll change the color to a white color. But before then, let's adjust our grid line by coming here, then adjust the grid line to around this place so that we can get a very good alignment. So just adjust your grid line to around here, and when you are done, tap on this again. So we are going to be working with our positioning. Then reduce the size of this. Reduce the size very well and position it at the middle right here. So I'm going to import the the clock icon as well, which is this. Change the color to a white color, and then I'll reduce the size. You can zoom in so that you can achieve a very good result. Yes, this is okay. Then I'll zoom out. You can see what the grid line is helping us with. It is making sure our elements are being positioned properly. So I would like to reduce this, then activate my grid line. You can see when it's showing you that red line, it means it is properly positioned. So I will import the last resources, which is the calendar icon. All right, I'll change the color as well to a white color. Then I'll reduce the size, then activate my grid line again and position it at the middle. Alright, so with this we'll be able to work with alignment. You can see that we have been able to work with alignment. All our resources are being positioned on the same line. So we want to copy this particular text again, this same text. We are going to copy it, then edit it to input our time of program. So I'm just going to input 9 a.m. but I won't make this bold, so I'll just go to my B style and remove the boldness. Alright, so I'll copy this, but before copying it, I'd like to reduce the size and position it right here. Now I'll copy this text, and then I'm going to be inputting the date of the program. So let me just input, since we are almost on month ending, so I'll just input next Sunday's dates. Alright, so I'm going to copy this as well, which is the location. Then I'm going to be inputting the venue. So I'll just input church auditorium. Church auditorium, you can see that. Now we are going to activate our grid line and work with the grid line. So we are going to position this close to each other to give it enough spacing. Alright, if you are enjoying this video so far, please like this video and also do well to comment so that YouTube can recommend my videos to more people. Okay, with your comments, YouTube is going to be recommending videos to external audience. Alright, you can see what we've got right there. So our elements are being positioned properly, and this is looking beautiful. So I'll just select all these resources and the text, click on this icon, then click on this icon as well, and make sure it is at the middle. Just click on this and it's going to help you position it at the middle. And as you can see, we have been able to create a very simple Thanksgiving flyer. Remember how I started this tutorial? Thank you guys once again for getting me to 400 subscribers on YouTube. Please, if you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification icon so that you will always get notified. You can see this is really beautiful right now, and it is actually okay, but then you can go ahead, save this as image, and we are going to be giving it a little bit touching with the Snapseed app. Okay, so we are going to be giving it a little bit touching with the Snapseed app. I'll just go to my Snapseed app. All right, then you can see this. When you open your Snapseed for the first time, you might have to be allowing some permissions. So I'll just tap on this mark icon, this plus icon right here, and this is the resources. This is the flyer we just designed. Now we want to give this a little bit of touching. It is actually beautiful, but then you can still give it more touchings. So I'll click on tools. Then you see these details right here. I'll just click on details, adjust, and you can see the sharpening. I'm going to increase my sharpening to make the image look more sharp. You can see that. Then I'll click on structure, and we are going to increase the structure a little bit to 15. 15 is okay. And then I'll tap on this mark icon. You can see the before and the after. You can see the before and the after. So it's just a little bit retouching. Then I'll click on tools. This time around, I'll be clicking on this place you're seeing graining frame. This place you're seeing graining frame. I'll click on it. And you can see this is actually popping by automatically. The pop is okay. You can see what we've got right here. But then if you want to adjust your grain, you can click on this to increase the structure. You can just adjust it to exactly what we want. So I'll leave this on 30. The structure, I'll leave it on the strength, I'll leave it on 30. Then if you want to adjust the grain, just long press and move your hand. You can see that. So you can adjust the grain. This is what the grain is. You can see that, but then we don't want it to be too much. I'll just leave this on 30 as well. And this is okay. Look at the before and the after. So let's check the results of what we've got. see the before, see the after, see the before, see the after. So if you want to save your work now, all you need to do is to click on this place you are seeing export. Then when you click on export, you can see this place you are seeing save. So it's going to save to your device, and just wait for this to finish loading. And as you can see, we are done with the tutorial. So thank you for sticking around with me to the end of this video tutorial. Please, if you find this video helpful, do well to subscribe if you are yet to subscribe, and like this video as well. I would love to hear from you in the comment section below if this video is helpful or not. So thank you. See you on the next tutorial.